Good afternoon, children. Welcome to the class. With the topic vibration of machine parts, I am Gitanjali Sethi, lecturer Mechanical Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Dhenkanal. So, our course objective is you students will be able to understand the fundamentals of vibration theory. You can understand the types and causes of vibration in machines, and also you can predict some remedial measures. And the course contents are introduction to vibration and related terms, classification of vibration, basic concept of natural, forced and damped vibration, torsional and longitudinal vibration, causes and remedies of vibration. So all of you must be knowing that vibration is a basic term you are coming across in your day-to-day life. Like you are saying that your mobile phone is in vibration mode. But here we will discuss this vibration as mechanical engineering point of view. So let me explain this vibration term with one example. This is one steel rule. Let me give some force to one end of the steel rule. Let's see what happens. So initially this steel rule is in rest condition or in static or equilibrium condition. So when I am applying some force at this end and then releasing the force, then the steel rule vibrates. We will read about this motion, that is vibratory motion. So you can define this vibration as the mechanical oscillation of an object about an equilibrium point by the application of external force. You can see here, if you are pulling this string then releasing this, there is a vibratory motion occurring in the string. This vibration may be periodic or random. Periodic, like it is repeating after certain interval of time. So after this time period that motion is repeating. Here also this is triangular wave. This triangle is repeated after this interval of time. So this is your periodic motion. Also it can be of random type, means there is no definite interval of time after which the motion is repeated. For example, when one automobile vehicle is moving on a road, due to that road profile, the motion that is happening in the automobile vehicle, that is of random type. So next we will see what are the causes of vibration. There are some internal and external forces which causes vibration. Internal forces, for example, you can say when inside your engine cylinder of any vehicle, when the forces they are exerted on the engine cylinder, they tend to produce one vibratory motion which is of internal type. And external, for example, your earthquakes, your air waves and water waves, they also produce vibration on some parts or machines that are called vibrations due to external forces. Also there are some causes like looseness. Here you can see, due to some loose bolt fitting, this motor can vibrate. Also if there are some excessive clearance between this shaft and the bearing, there also some vibration can happen. Imbalance means if there is any imbalance in the rotating parts or reciprocating parts, there also vibration can happen. Misalignment, here you can see the example of misalignment, angular misalignment. If such type of arrangement is there, there also vibration is there. This is parallel offset misalignment. So these cases, they produce vibrations in the machines. Here wear and tear, wear also causes some vibration. Here I have shown some vibrating mechanical devices like vibrating pumps, vibrating motors, vibrating belts and vibrating fans. So in mechanical point of view, this vibration we are considering always negative. Means we do not want these vibration because they may cause unwanted noise, high stresses, wear and premature failure of parts, poor surface finish, and it is also a source of human discomfort. But There are also practical applications of vibrations. Those are used in industries like your conveyors. Here they are using vibratory mechanism to get their work done. Hooper or sheaves. Here also vibrations are constructive use. Also, in certain cases, to improve the efficiency of certain machining processes like casting, forging and welding, we are using this vibration mechanism. Then if in mechanical point of view we are considering this vibration as mostly negative aspect, but why to read this vibration? Then we must read this vibration. Then why to read this vibration? If we read this vibration, you know, in certain cases what happens, the frequency of the external forces, they coincides with the frequency of the inside vibrations. So when this happens, resonance occurs. Due to that resonance, there is failure of some parts, machine parts. So to avoid that, we must read this vibration and we must identify and remove the cause of vibrations at the design stage, or if that cannot be avoided in the design stage, we can avoid that or minimize that at the running stage and try to rectify it. Also, if the vibration cannot be avoided in the designing or running stage, we must design some dampers to reduce these vibrations. For example, your primary and secondary suspension systems in the trains. Then we'll go inside this topic, that is vibration. So before going to that topic, we must know some related terms of this vibration. So first term is amplitude. Amplitude means how much distance the vibratory motion can go, what distance or to what extent it can go, or it is the maximum displacement or distance moved by the point on a vibrating body from its equilibrium point, and it is expressed in millimeter or centimeter or meter. Amplitude, or what is the maximum distance covered. Then time period, it is the period or time interval after which the motion is repeated itself. Means up to this is the time period, means this motion is repeated after this time period, like this. So time period is the interval after which the motion is repeated. Then the cycle means it is the motion completed during one time period. During one time period, this is the motion completed, means this is one cycle. Then the fourth term is frequency. Frequency means how fast the vibration can go. Means it is the number, or you can define it as a number of cycles described in 1 second. But how fast it can happen? Means if I can eat 2 mangoes per second and you can eat 5 mangoes per second, so whose frequency is more? Definitely yours, because per second you can eat 5 mangoes. So these are the 4 terms that you will come across while going inside this or through this topic. Then we'll see our next part, what are the types of vibratory motion. It is of 3 types generally. Or first one is free, or it is called as natural vibration. Next is forced vibration and damped vibration. Again, this free or natural vibration is classified into 3 types: longitudinal vibration, transverse vibration and torsional vibration. In the next slide, we'll see one by one after one. So first one is what is free, forced and damped vibration. So here your most awaited festival, that is Raja, is coming nearer, and in your childhood days you must be playing with this swing. So with this example of swing, let me explain the 3 types of vibration: free, forced and damped vibration. So let assume the swing inside one vacuum place. So if you are giving one push to the swing, then what will happen? The swing is there inside the vacuum and you are giving one push, then after that you release that push or do not push once again. Then what will happen? Definitely that swing will go on swinging forever or for indefinite period of time. So that is nothing but your free or natural vibration. Means here no external force acts on the body after giving the body an initial displacement. After initial displacement, no external force is given, but the swing is, or the amplitude continues like that. So practically this cannot happen like that, because there always come some air resistances. Next one is a forced vibration. But actually what you do in case of your Raja swing, you push your friend once, then when she comes to you, he or she comes to you, again you give another push, then again when she comes to you, again you give another force. Means here you are giving external periodic force. Why you are giving this external periodic force? To maintain its amplitude. So that is nothing but your forced vibration. Next one is damped vibration. What is this damped vibration then? Again consider that swing, but here instead of in the vacuum, put that in a field, put that swing in a field. So give one push, after that you release the push, do not push again. So what will happen? Obviously after some time that will come to rest, or gradually that amplitude of the vibration decreases and that comes to rest. So that type of vibration is nothing but damped vibration. So here there is a reduction in amplitude over every cycle of vibration. So what happens here? Now some amount of energy is always dissipated in overcoming the frictional resistances to the motion. Your one of the example is vibration absorbed by your shock absorber. That is the case of your damped vibration. Then we'll see the types of free vibrations. So I have already told you three types of free vibrations are there. One is longitudinal vibration. Longitudinal vibration means, let this is the shaft or rod, you are pulling and pushing like this. You are pulling then releasing. What will happen? The particle will move like this. So here the particle will move parallel to the axis. Okay, so that type of vibration is known as longitudinal vibration. So here only tensile and compressive stresses are induced. As vibration is like this, so compressive and tensile forces are induced in that longitudinal vibration. Next is transverse vibration. Here what happens? Like this. This is the rod. You are pulling the rod like this, approximately perpendicular to the axis of the shaft. So that type of vibration is known as transverse vibration. So here bending stresses are induced in the shaft. Bending stresses are induced in the shaft. Next one is torsional vibration. Torsion means you are giving one twisting force like this. Twisting force. You twist the disc or the rod like this, then release it. So how it will vibrate? It will vibrate like this. So this is nothing but your torsional vibration. Means here the particles of the shaft or disc, they move in a circle about the axis of the shaft. So torsional shear stresses are induced in the shaft. This is here torsional shear stresses are induced in the shaft. So one derivation is there to get the natural frequency of free longitudinal vibration. So frequency matters a lot, or how fast the vibration occurs, that matters a lot. So to find out the frequency of the first case or free or longitudinal vibration, let me consider one spring and mass system. See how mass is attached to the one end of the spring. So consider one spring and mass system which is of single degree of freedom. Means this spring can move, this can move only in one direction. Okay, in longitudinal direction. So this is one single degree of freedom system, and here in case of vibration, the basic elements of the vibration are stiffness and mass. Two elements, stiffness and mass, they are two basic elements. So spring stiffness means that is the force required for unit deflection. How means more stiff the material is, means more difficult to elongate it. So we'll see how to find out the natural frequency. For this, you consider one spring mass system where S is equal to stiffness of the spring, which is in Newton per meter. Then M is equal to mass. Here let one end of the spring is fixed, to the other end one mass of M, or weight is equal to mg. W is equal to mg attached to the spring. Then what will happen? after attaching this mass, there will be initial deflection of amount delta to the spring. Okay. So in this case, first case, case B, after attaching the mass m here, in equilibrium condition, this downward force will be balanced by the upward force, or that is the spring force, which is equal to S delta. Stiffness means S stiffness is equal to force per unit deflection. So what is the spring force? The spring force is equal to S into delta. So spring force is equal to upward spring force is equal to S into delta. Then what we are doing, we are displacing this mass to an amount or to a distance x, or initial displacement x is given to the mass. So after t time, t second, what will happen, we'll see, and from that we'll derive the natural frequency of free or longitudinal vibration. So this is the free body diagram. In the free body diagram, upward force, upward spring force, this force is equal to S initial displacement delta plus final given amount of displacement, that is x. So S into delta plus x. After t second, this force will be equal to S into delta plus x, that will be acting upward, and downward, that is weight is there, and as we are accelerating the body, so one accelerating force, or that is equal to mass m a acceleration, which is given d square x by dt square. So from figure C, restoring force, we can go to the previous slide. Here in equilibrium condition, we have to balance, or we have to apply Newton's second law, means net force, total summation of all the forces will be equal to mass into acceleration. Summation of all the forces means here is only spring force is there, which is acting upward. So this spring force is balanced by mass into acceleration. Spring force acting upward, so we can give that negative sign, or total force, spring force S into delta plus x plus your weight, one weight is there. So weight acting downwards, if you are giving positive sign, then weight minus S into delta plus x, this is the total force or total restoring force, for which this restoring force means that is the force due to which this body try to get back to its original position, that will be balanced by mass into acceleration. Acceleration means d square x by dt square. So in this slide we can see after time t, total restoring force is equal to W minus S delta plus x. From that we can find out restoring force is equal to minus Sx, because initially in equilibrium condition we know W is equal to S delta. And accelerating force, you know, mass m into d square x by dt square. So under equilibrium condition, equating this equation 1 and 2, we can get m d square x by dt square is equal to minus Sx, minus sign coming to this side plus Sx, then dividing mass in both the sides, we can get this much. This equation, we know the fundamental equation of simple harmonic motion is in the form of like this, second order differential equation, d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. So we can compare this equation 4 with equation 3. So what we can get? Now omega square is equal to s by m, or omega is equal to square root of s by m. So from this omega we can find out time period is equal to 2 pi by omega, or that much, or we can find out the frequency is equal to 1 by time period is equal to 1 by 2 pi s by m, or in place of s by m we can write g by delta as mg is equal to s delta. So putting the value of g, we can find out finally frequency as 0.4985 by root over of delta in hertz. Delta is the static deflection, and in case of longitudinal vibration, that delta we can find out using the formula WL by EA, where W is equal to weight or load attached to the free end, L is equal to length of the constant or length of the spring. E is equal to Young's modulus for the constant in Newton per meter square. So E is used because it is the it measures the elastic deformation under tensile or compressive force. So I have a problem for you using that natural frequency formula, that is, in a spring mass vibrating system the natural frequency of the vibration is this much. When the amount of suspended mass is increased by 5 kg, the natural frequency is lowered to 2.9 Hz. So first one natural frequency is this much, mass increased by 5 kg, so final mass is this much, frequency second after increasing the mass second frequency is this much. So you have to find out the original unknown mass and the spring constant m1 and s. So you have two equations, means using frequency, two frequencies. You have two equations using frequency one equation in terms of s and m. Using second frequency you have another equation. So solving those two equations you can find out s and m1. So this is the first question. Next we will see what is natural frequency of free torsional vibration. This is same as case of your free longitudinal vibration. Here only two things are there. In case of free, what you are considering, or in case of torsional vibration you are considering what? Here spring force you are considering s, but here the stiffness you are considering s, but here stiffness you are considering q. Amount of displacement you are considering x, but amount of displacement here you are considering theta. Here F is equal to you are considering mass into d square x by dt square, but here this force means that is the torque. You will consider that torque is equal to I into d square theta by dt square. So here mass determines how much force is required for this given acceleration. Like that here moment of inertia, that defines how much torque is required for this angular displacement. So these are the terms. Only restoring force at this free case, that is minus sx, here minus q theta. When this is balanced by accelerating force I d square by theta by dt square, and equating 1 and 2 you can get this. Finally this equation, which can be compared with the simple harmonic motion, and from this you can find out omega is equal to square root of q by I, and you can find out time period 2 pi by omega and frequency 1 by time period. So that is the formula, frequency for torsional vibration. Here is a simple question for you, or you find out this q using Cj by L from this torsion equation. T by j is equal to C theta by L. Each terms, what are each terms, they are given here. One question only, you have to find out the frequency of the torsional vibration. Everything is given: diameter, length, mass, stiffness, frequency, and this C, that is modulus of rigidity of the material, is given. Everything is given. By putting that formula you have to find out this frequency, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi q by I. Q is equal to Cj by L, J is equal to pi by 32 d4. All the data is given. You can find out, putting all the formula data, you can find out the natural frequency of torsional vibration. So these are the vibrations, and these are some remedies of vibration, how to avoid those vibrations: balancing rotating parts, and reducing the mass of reciprocating parts, increasing the stiffness, replacing old components. Like this, there are remedies of vibrations, and if the remedies cannot be, or if the vibration cannot be avoided like this, you can use vibration isolators like spring, rubber pads to decrease vibration. So here is some assignment for you. You can go through the book and solve the assignments. So this is all about your topic. If there is any doubt, you can contact me on my number 9377742372. Hope this lecture will find you at good health. Thank you.
झीटीए तो माटी आम सामाजिक और पारिवारिक जीवनर मूल कथाटी से माने आगकू गले आगकू जीव संसार आम झील मैंने आ पुओंकठू पछरे नाहंती एबे तो बदली गलानी समय बदली गलानी जुग से झीलमानंकु आहुरी आगकु नहीं आत्मनिर्भरशील और स्वावलंबी करने ओडिशा सरकार सुदक्षा योजना रे सरकारी आईटीआई माध्यम संपूर्ण मागणारे जोगई देउछंती सबु प्रकार उत्कृष्ट मानर वैषयिक ज्ञान कौशलर तालीम। एबे आम झील रहिबे सबुठु आगरे सबुठु उपरे।
मु सफल मु कुशली मु सुदक्षा